Hey guys, welcome to Red and Blue, the channel devoted to all things PSG in English, and it's finally happened after a gloriously long 10-day history on this channel of not having to mention him. We have to talk about Mbappe. I'm sorry, journalists finally got to him and managed to corner him with the two questions that has been on everyone's mind since PSG won the Champions League. The first one being, what kind of sour is he of seeing PSG win the year after he left? Um, and, like all things set aside about Mbappe, and God knows we could talk about it for a long, long time, but like he gave a very good and polished communication answer. He said, I was happy, they deserved it, they've been through so many struggles. I went through that too. I've experienced every stage of the Champions League except winning it. They were the best team in Europe. I don't remember ever seeing a 5-0 like that. It's 100% deserved. They've become the team everyone wants to beat. Um, so yeah, like, look, I think honestly, like, it's Mbappe, so having seen him and looked at what he says for a long, long time now, I think there's always a part of truth and a part of communication in it. I think in this case, probably like 65% true, and the rest of it a bit of communication. Is a professional like football player, so he can't be entirely happy that his team wins it like the year after he leaves. It's just impossible. I've got to give it to him. Like essentially, he gave the only answer he could give. He did it professionally. Kudos to him, and hopefully that puts that matter to bed, and we can stop talking about Mbappe in the context of PSG. And then journalists ask him, like, the second question that's been on everyone's mind, especially since all of the Spanish media has started trying to convince everyone that a Ballon d'Or is just whoever we like best, and there's no criteria, and, collective wins don't enter into it, which is obviously completely false, but, that's Spanish media for you. So the media asked him who he would vote for Ballon d'Or. And once again, just to be clear, like, national team captains used to have a vote in the Ballon d'Or. It's not the case anymore. Ballon d'Or is decided only by journalists now and people who follow football professionally. So Mbappe would not have a vote in the Ballon d'Or this year. But anyway, they asked him that, and he said, would I vote for Dembele? Yes. Do I really need to explain? We're talking about Yamal and Dembele. I'm going with Dembele. It's very clear. So there too, like, I would very much imagine that there's a part of him that wish he was part of that conversation. There's probably a part of him who still thinks he's the best player in the world. But at the same time, he gave the only answer he could give. He comes off looking good. And I think like at this point for him, that's really all that matters. So that was the Mbappe conversation. Hopefully we'll put it to bed for now. Hopefully like that's, before the last Friends game. So I hope we don't see Mbappe in the media for at least a couple more weeks, and in context of PSG for a lot longer. Second thing of the day, so we talked yesterday briefly, like Dembele, you would have seen the news, I assume, is out for all of the group stage of the Club's World Cup, injured to his left thigh. Barcola, though, like the news that came out is actually better. It looks like he's going to be back for the first game against Atletico Madrid on the 15th. So that's a bit of a relief, and so he should be available throughout that group stage. And then finally, like the last thing I wanted to mention as well, and I think it's a bit of an interesting one. Obviously, it's Mercato season, and there's a lot of different rumor going around. And there was a funny one yesterday that I saw going through the channel, and it started yesterday. I got a comment from subscriber Red Capuno. So first, thanks for subscribing. And he told me like that it would be great if we could get Kim Min-jae from Bayern. That would be phenomenal. Personally, don't entirely agree, but it's funny that a few hours later, one of the French football websites was reporting that Luis Campos had met with Kim's agent, and that there might be a conversation going on. And at the same time, like I googled the player, and literally, like when you Google him, there's 10 news articles that come up. Two of them are saying Kim Min-jae is going to PSG. Three of them are saying he's going to Liverpool. One of them is saying he's going to Newcastle, and one of them is saying he's going to, I think, Manchester United. Um, And ultimately, like, he's a player that we know Bayern is keen to, like, wouldn't be opposed to selling him. At least I don't know if they're keen to sell him, but like they wouldn't be opposed to it. And he's definitely, disappointed given the high fee and hopes that they had placed on the players when he signed from Napoli. And this one I thought was particularly funny too, because literally yesterday as well, like, Nasser gave an interview to a Qatari TV channel and said that, he gave his usual speech of "We've got the best coach in the world," which he's been giving for every coach since the QSI took over PSG. But in this case, he went a bit more specific. He said Luis Enrique is the best coach in the world for developing young players. And look at the players that we've signed. The oldest one is 24 years old, and we're only going for young players now and not like the older players that we've signed in the past. And obviously, Kim Min-jae as a player is 28, close to turning 29. And so those two things happening on the same day really made me giggle a little bit and just, my God, like, Mercato is just silly sometimes. And agents really need to stop telling us rumors to try to get people excited. It's just not gonna work. So I'm sorry. I very much don't think Kim Min-jae is gonna come to PSG. Red Cap, we know. Like, we'll have to see. Maybe I'm wrong. You never know. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. All right, that's it for today. Thanks so much for listening, guys. As always, please subscribe to the channel. Definitely helps a lot. And then, like, leave a comment and a like. I read everything. I answer to everything. I love it as well. So thanks so much for doing that, and let's keep it going. All right, guys. See you later. Ici c'est Paris.